Well, as you can see, I'm joined by Pete Johnson. Pete, what's been like in the summer for you? A bit different this year, isn't it?
Yeah, not as manic as many of the boys obviously signed on that we had from last year, which is, it's been a bit easier, to be fair. It's, you can focus on 2 or 3 rather than the manic of talking to all the a million agents, you know what I mean? But so it's been, like I say, more focus, which is beneficial all round, really.
I guess this is where it pays to actually have done your homework in advance, if you think of all the players that were brought in towards the end of last season.
Yeah, it does. You've always got to be one step ahead of the game if you can. And the players we bring in, obviously, you're always competing with people, so we're obviously got to try and get them just at the right time, and that's probably the trick, you know. And sometimes we bring players in that you might think, well, who's he? Well, we've got to get them before everybody knows them. So, yeah, it's nice to, like I say, you have got to keep ahead of the game all the time, yeah.
That's something that the gaffer has actually mentioned in the past, isn't it? It's all very well saying to go out to get the players that everybody's heard of and all that, but actually our job at a club like Torquay United is nipping in there before everyone, and that sometimes goes under the radar a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but in the past, though, we've proved that really has worked for us. You know, you're taking more of a gamble if it is a gamble, but you know, even going in the past back to say your Cheltenham, someone like Mo Issa was playing at, I don't know what level it was Greenwich Borough, but we was in before anyone else and sold him 9 months later for £1 million, and you know, they don't all work out like that, but you got to have the what's the word, the bot to make them decisions, if you like, to you know, and it does mean that you can make that odd or one that looks like a mistake, but you know, if you can get in credit with that, and then it enables you to just say, you know, let's bring him in and have a look, you know.
And with that in mind, Pete, I guess then it must be a little bit of it must make you feel a little bit more relaxed that you're not looking at like 20 in a complete rebuilding job, and you're just looking at, because there will still be players coming in, isn't there? Right.
Oh, every day, you know, I'm getting 10 players sent to me, and I look at them all. You know, whether it be on White Scout or whether I already know them, which invariably I do. But it certainly, like I say, it's been so much easier being able to focus on 3 or 4 that we need rather than a dozen. Do you know what I mean? I know I hark back again to Cheltenham when we needed 19 new players there, and we did win the league, but that was the most manic summer ever. This has been quite a relaxed one, but really focused. You know, I'm really, there's a real positive factor around the club as well. I think everyone's quite relaxed. You don't want to get in the habit of getting relegated, of course we don't. But we can all sense that there's a real good team there forming. We need a couple more, probably, in positions, and whether that be to finish the squad off or to play in that first 11, because they're all sort of pigeonholed to a degree. I mean, some will jump above other people as we go along, but we know exactly what we need. Now, whether we can get that is another thing, but it is easier because there's less of them to find, you know. And you say, you know, Gal will look at me and he will look me in the eyes and say, are you sure about this one, you know what I mean? But I can live with that. I've done it for 30 years with him like that, so no problem.
Now, you've been in football a long time, and a lot of your work actually for the club is done remotely. So what's it like for you actually being here on the training ground on the first day of pre-season? Is it something you enjoy?
Yeah, it's nice to get down. Obviously we've got a few players that we've got to make decisions on and things like that, so another voice in the camp helps, and I'm always a real honest one, because it's my brother at the end of the day. He knows I'm not going to be a yes man just for the sake of it. But it's lovely coming down, and I like to get that bond with the players, although I do see them at a lot of away games because they come into London. But it makes sense for me to be in London because I'm surrounded by football clubs, you know what I mean? Whereas if I was down here, you've got Exeter, Plymouth and whatever around, but it's not enough. So, but it is great to get in and get a bond with all the lads, and then when I meet them up at hotels, sometimes, you know, for Saturday games in down my end of the world, it's nice to already have a relationship with them, and it's even easier this time because we know most of them from last year, and they're a real good bunch. So I do look forward to coming in and seeing them. Yeah.
And obviously, you know the players all pretty well yourself, but does it sometimes help when you're down here that when you're looking at players at different clubs at different levels, when you're coming here and you're seeing the players in the flesh, you're actually having a reminder of what strengths they've got, so that you can look in.
Absolutely vital that is as well, because I'll watch you, say, a winger for 4 weeks on a trot, and then I come back here or watch one of our first team games, and you look and that's your control method, and you think, hang on, he's not as good as what we've got. So it does work really well. Not a lot of the scouts do that, to be fair, and you really do need to see your own team as well. And I think people think sometimes, what am I doing there on a Saturday? Well, they don't realise I've been to 4 games in the week, that, you know, it doesn't matter, that it's important that I'm there as well. That is part of it. You know, so it's good.
And once the season starts, I guess your eyes will then be looking further ahead again.
Well, I'm already further ahead, Dom. Yeah, I've already got loans in my mind for if we get injuries. Hopefully we don't get too many injuries, but that sort of works almost. It's not never done, because it always changes, or they go somewhere else. So yeah, I'm well on that case, and I could give you a big list and pad over there of what we'd have if it was tomorrow that 4 of them fell down the hill here. We'd have that done, but it might change in 2 months' time. But yeah, we're really on that case, and we've really been on making good relationships with clubs where we're going to get players from. And we haven't done ourselves any harm really with the people like Nico Lawrence, who's now playing in the league, come to us, and we could rattle off loads of them that we've had on loan, done well, and gone back into their first teams. Obviously QPR as well, with Sinclair Armstrong, people like that. They appreciate it, and they're happy to give us players again in the future, which is good. And I've seen a lot of them, so I know all their players inside out are ones we've already had before from certain clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important about building up those relationships. Well, it does sound like you've got a job that never sleeps, Pete, so we hope that you are going to get some break at some point. But
yeah.
Thank you for talking to us today, and we look forward to seeing how this new Torquay United side does this season.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. We've got big hopes, haven't we? Big hopes this year. So thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thanks, Pete.
Cheers.